While I might argue with Robert Borsak from Shooters, Fishers, Farmers about a whole range of issues, I'd never argue with him about shooting because I know nothing about it and I'm in good company because nor does Atticus Fleming. Robert Borsak, good morning to you.
Good morning, Ray. How are you?
Good, thanks. Just on this issue, what you're getting at is the RSPCA wanted them to put these 360-degree cameras so that we could see what happened on the ground when these Brumbies were being shot. Now, why the reluctance by National Parks and Wildlife and Fleming to comply with that request? I don't quite understand it, and I think you might not either.
Well, I think I would suspect that it falls down to the area of that whole line of questioning that I was putting, that it's not going to be a very nice video to see animals shot 7, 8, 10 times before they go down. It's cruel. That's what it is. It's just plain cruel. And they can't defend it. They got into this program knowing full well what they had to do. This inquiry got evidence from ballistics experts, as I said there earlier, saying exactly what calibers and what projectiles they should be using, and they just ignored it and got on with it. And that's the reason why they don't want it on video. That's the reason why they've got started on the program long before this inquiry has even finalised yet and made any recommendations. Keep in mind, Ray, that this is supposed to be an inquiry into the proposed aerial shooting of the Brumbies in Kosciuszko National Park. Well, it's well on. They got started and got stuck in, and they're halfway through that program now, because they know if it's ever shown exactly what the situation is, and if there was any video of it, that they would get slaughtered in the court of public opinion.
Well, when you questioned me yesterday, I made the point, and you've made it again during the inquiry, that Guy Fawkes up near Grafton Dorrigo started and stopped almost immediately because the then very strong RSPCA said 20 years ago to the Minister, Bob Davis, and the equivalent to Fleming at National Parks and Wildlife, if you keep going with this caper, we'll hold you personally responsible and we'll criminally prosecute the Minister and whoever's in charge of National Parks and Wildlife. Now, while they've asked for cameras, the RSPCA have been very, very compliant, and I can only think it's about money or funding or resources, that they are so compliant.
Well, you've got to ask yourself that question. Where else can you go, Ray? They've got exactly the opposite position now to what they had then. What's changed? What's changed?
Look,
the management.
The other thing.
What?
Well, I think Atticus has changed. I mean, and Steve Coleman's changed. I think there are two key factors here. Steve Coleman, the boss of the RSPCA, and Atticus Fleming, the boss of the National Parks and Wildlife. Just on the issue there, and I won't play it again because I've played it quite a number of times already. I interviewed Associate Professor Andrea Harvey, who knows a lot about this, and she would dispute uphill and down dale that the aerial culling is anything but, of course, the most dastardly thing you can do, and it's inhumane. And as you make the point there a number of times, if we had video evidence of it, well, that would sustain the argument by you, me, and by Associate Professor Harvey, I'd imagine.
Exactly. Our party doesn't oppose, and you said it in the inquiry yesterday, it's bipartisan that, the environment's got to be protected in that park. But we do not support helicopter shooting, because even at best, it might be humane on small mammals, like a pig may weigh up to 60 kilos, but not a bloody horse. Not a horse that 300 or 350 kilos, and it's running, it's full of adrenaline, all the things that involved in the racing industry, how hyped up animals can get. It's just inhumane to be shooting them from a helicopter using that process. And if it was videoed, it would never have got off the ground. It would not be supported at all. It's as simple as that. And that's the reason why Atticus Fleming, who is an extreme green, and he's one of the worst you'll ever find, doesn't care what it takes He doesn't care what it takes to get what he calls, feral animals out of these parks. Whatever it takes, they will do. I'm actually speechless about the whole thing. I just don't. They have mismanaged that park for decades. They've seen the problem coming, and they have not made recommendations to government to do it properly in the last how many decades, 30, 40 years. It's just they've allowed these horses to procreate and grow and grow and grow and grow in numbers, and now all of a sudden it's a major problem, and they're running around with their heads cut off. He needs to be called to account for the mismanagement of that park over a long period of time, and his predecessors as well. This should not have got to this situation at all.
I just want to play you some audio because it goes to your point about how green he is. Have a listen to this.
A decision not to have aerial shooting as one of the methods would in effect be a decision to allow the horse population to continue to grow and to continue to degrade the park and its threatened species. The Minister earlier today noted the decision that will be published tomorrow about the uplisting of the broad-toothed rat. So that is a panel of eminent independent scientists who have said the broad-toothed rat is now at higher risk of extinction. And in making that decision, they have called out feral herbivores and in particular have said feral horses are the main threat among feral herbivores. So feral herbivores are not the only threat, they are a threat, and feral horses are the main threat among feral herbivores. In other words, if we don't get the population down, we're going to continue to lose our Australian natural heritage.
Now, that's the point I wanted to make, Robert Borsak. Australian natural heritage. The feral horses are the main threat, you see. It's all linked to colonialisation. The fact that these animals were brought here and are part of white settlement. And that's what Atticus Fleming hates. If it's a broad-toothed rat, God bless it. If it's a Brumby, kill it.
That's exactly right. And that you made that point yesterday, and I'm 100% in agreement with you. If it's colonial, it's got to go. There is a place for those horses in that park, and they bloody know it. And if he gets his way, he'll shoot the whole bloody lot. He'll get the lot. It doesn't matter what it is, it's got to go. And this is all part of the same green woke mentality that we've been putting up with for far too damn long, as far as I'm concerned. There is a place for those animals in that park.
Yeah, just finally, you know how you said this is supposed to be inquiry into, a trial or where they're going to go with it. He said yesterday, and you could confirm it, that this year alone they've annihilated 4,446 Brumbies, and in total, since they started the trial, 8,700. Not a bad trial. That means about 13,000 have gone already.
Yes, that's right. And he was using that to justify his assertion that the people that are complaining about the fact that there weren't even 3,000 horses there, that look what we've done, and there's still a lot more to go. So the people that are complaining about this, there's a lot more horses there. The other thing to consider too is, if they end up leaving 3,000 horses there, which I seriously doubt, but if they do, it's only going to be in one little part of the park. Okay, the rest of the park is going to be 100% exclusion. 100% exclusion. So this is all very, very carefully nuanced, very carefully run by the green people who run national parks in New South Wales and have never done a proper job when it comes to anything like conservation in those parks. It's lock it up and leave it. When the problem gets too big, you see them running around like they are now, like the chooks with their heads cut off, causing all sorts of humane problems with these poor bloody animals. It just shouldn't be done this way. It should not be done.
Okay, thanks for your time. Look forward to talking to you in the future. All the best.
Thank you, Ray. Cheers.
Robert Borsak, New South Wales Shooters, Fishers, Farmers.